Hello! I have decided to go live today as I was feeling very energetic and also very called to go live, and I vetted with my methods and also physical cards. So, yeah, they said go live. Um as you can see, this stream in particular already has a title because they gave me the title. Um but we'll see what comes out because I never know what's going to come out until I'm channeling. That's usually how it works. I don't have like themes or anything like that. I guess in this case, this would count as a theme. Um, I'm getting the vibes that this is meant to be comforting to whoever is watching these, because that's one of the reasons why I'm still doing these, because tarot is my passion, and I love yapping, and I love reading cards. So, let's see. Uh, they are, and I guess this also applies to me. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember where you came from. Remember what your roots are. Woo! Nice. Okay. Alrighty. For some of you guys, I'm gonna be giving I guess since this is a the gods have your back reading, um I'm going to be doing deity identifications as well, just in case, All right. Hit me with it, spirit. Hit me, baby, one more time. That song might be significant for some of you. Okay. Alrighty. Ooh, okay. Archangel Michael already coming through. I knew he was around too. He's. Ooh, shit. Alright. Alrighty. For some of you, this could have something to do with something that happened that was unfair, that you did not deserve to go through. Um, I'm hearing you went through the trenches. You went through the trenches and came back stronger, more capable, with a lot more lessons. Because, see, the hermit is all about isolation, isolating, but the archetype in the hermit archetype in tarot is usually that the hermit chose to isolate himself, to learn new things and take a step back from everything to reassess himself. It's that solitary journey of self discovery, like learning new things about yourself, or maybe whatever this was pushed you into being into hermit mode. And I feel like for some of y'all, you guys could be resting. For others of you, you guys could be considering resting. I'm sorry, that resonates for me, so that's why I'm laughing. But I'm hearing specifically that the tables are turning. Whatever this unfair situation was for you, it's being balanced out. I'm also hearing specifically that if this was about like a court situation, by the way, disclaimer always, please don't use my readings for legal advice. But whatever this was, it expanded your knowledge in the way you perceive the world. It gave you the tools to look out for, um, like let's say for example, you went through a really rough situation with somebody, trigger warning, you went through an abusive situation. So now, this situation, albeit it was horrible and it shifted a lot of you, also gave you a newer, fresher perspective. And so yeah, now you know how what to look out for. Like the signs for when somebody is dishonest, conniving, um, win at all costs type of energy, you know? So now the scales are being balanced out, and I actually heard a bit ago specifically that they are going through the same things that they put you through. And for some of you, it's like they're going through the same things that they put you through, and they're thinking like, and they're thinking like, man, this looks very similar, or like they'll think of you. And for some of y'all, it's your spirit team reminding them and being like, how you like them apples, you know? If we can't dish it, if we can't take it, don't dish it, you know? So, alrighty. I definitely do feel like the scales are being balanced. Why do I keep wanting to say the things but reverse? Like I was about to say the balance are being scaled. Isn't there like okay, I do not know the name of this deity specifically, but he's coming to my head because I know about the legend. Um, the deity that weighs your scale, your heart on a scale. Gosh darn it! I keep thinking about scales. Um, you could work with a dragon, or you could work with like a crocodile spirit. You don't have to, but it's also what's coming through. Um, hold on. It's that one. First and foremost, it's the deity that weighs your heart on a scale, and that. But then you have the other one, the crocodile, that eats the soul of the person that's the heart was heavier. Yeah, that. Alrighty, interesting. So a lot of yeah. Um, for some of you guys, this person thinks that they got away with what they did, but that's what your spirit team wants them to believe. They want them to feel comfortable. They want them to say all that they need to say. Like it's basically like airing something at like you know how you sometimes you're watching a show and you're just like, I wonder how this will kind of develop. That's the same vibe here. Like your spirit team is like sitting, observing, and just letting this person feel comfortable with everything that they did, or comfortable enough to where it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna let all of this just play out and happen, you know? Alright, let's see, what else, Spirit? Alright, crows may be significant. You could be working with Apollo, or you could be interested in learning about Apollo. I feel with this, it's like a very slow process. Like it's something that's been going on for a while with the Knight of Pentacles. And it's something methodical where it's like, okay, Because I kind of see the Knight of Pentacles in this context also as somebody that is laying the groundwork. You know, that's how I said, like, they're observing, they are analyzing, you know, if this is somebody that hurt you really, really badly, that is exactly the same thing. And for some of you guys, this person will have to, because we were talking about the hermit mode in the beginning and everything, this person will have to deal with all of it on their own because they pushed you to be isolated. They pushed you to be on your own. All right. Yeah. Um there's a lot of energy of like future faking, keeping you confused, keeping you like an option for some of you guys, making you feel like you weren't really as important as you deemed yourself to be because ultimately at the end of the day we're all important, you know? Like all of us matter except like files, you know? But all right. Yeah. Um for some of you guys, they could have been financially abusing you, financially withholding, you know, amounts of money that could be very beneficial to you. They could have also kept things from you, things that were important, like pieces of information that could have been important, where you would have made a decision have you had known, you know? This person could be a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. They don't have to be. This person could also be an earth sign, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Right. Okay. Sekhmet. I just heard Sekhmet. Man, a lot of Egyptian deities. That's nice. That's really, really nice. Alright. For some of you guys, and this is just for confirmation because she asked me to say this. You guys have been wondering if you have a connection with Sekhmet since you were a child, and she's confirming that. She's like, yeah, um, we do have that connection. Alrighty. A lot of focus on deities today. Well, not surprising considering that what the title is, but still, that's really nice. All right, what else, Spirit? Alrighty. For some of you guys, this could be speaking about a financially tight situation. I normally say mundane before magic, and I will always say mundane before magic. Um, of course, you know, you can ask things from the gods, but you also kind of have to put in the action towards things, you know? Like, for example, they can put a job your way, a new job your way, but if you're not open to even working that job, Um, Even if they put the perfect opportunity your way, it's still gonna complicate things because it like bounces off energetically, you know? Where it's like, so for some of you guys, you've been thinking about how work is stressful, how work has been hard for you, how you may not be feeling the same passion that you were once feeling when you were involved in this job. It's because they want you to expand your horizons, is what I'm hearing specifically. Alrighty, Page of Cups. You've been getting dreams about this. You've been receiving information, or you've been getting downloads, where Spirit has been like, time to move on. Time to be considering other options. Time to, or even if you feel like you're in a good standing in your job, and if you feel like there is nothing wrong, in your job, in your line of work, maybe they just want you to consider other options, so as a contingency plan. Alrighty. But to whoever is watching this, you're never truly alone. And you know that. Because especially with all the water sign energy, water signs tend to be very intuitive and tapped in. Y'all have a whole team behind you. Like, dude, this collective's spirit team loves them so much. Like, I can feel the support, and it's to the point where you guys know, like, if this doesn't resonate with you, don't take it. Like, only take what resonates, but it's to the point where the relationship with your deities aren't even like working relationships. It's like, it can be familial. It can be, depending on if you practice God spousal. It can be like like a God spousal. Um, you guys have a very profound connection with your deities, and there is no amount of physical offerings that you can give to a deity that will mean as much to them as a heartfelt connection of like knowing, like, hey, like, for some of you guys actually, you could see your spirit team as your bouncers. That's silly. Or it's like not allowed, or like some kind of like PR rep. Like when when there's like singers or band artists, and they have like their little manager that's always with them. That type of vibe. That's really cute. Love that for y'all. Alrighty. I got Ain't No Mountain High and Low. Oh my god! I got that song, and I got the King of Swords. That to me is the to me that's Archangel Michael. Aw, that's so cute. I'm also hearing as I walk through the valley of the shadow of doubt. So, and I feel like, okay, fear may get to you guys for a while, because it's human. It's normal to feel fear, to feel scared. But I feel like they're showing me kind of like when a spirit guide like because they take breaks too. Like they cannot, be all like all they do is be watching us every time. Everybody deserves their breaks and stuff. But I'm seeing like a spirit guide coming back and like the standing man emoji and being like, what is dude going through? That type of vibe. Like, what happened? I left for 5 minutes and now everything is on fire. Love that for you. Um, yeah, it's the human experience. Um, hold on. Yeah, the hermit again. Some of you guys may have like a spirit guide that resonates with the hermit card, but and he's being very sassy. um, they want you to take care of yourself more. Um, they want you to lean onto the recent metaphysical discoveries that you're making. Maybe some of you guys are working with crystals. Like, I'm hearing something about taking the energetic blueprint of a crystal. That could be significant for somebody out there, so I'm just gonna put it out there. Um, alright, what else? For some of you guys, you could be learning on how to doing knots in magic, intentioning those knots, making bracelets with knots on them, the red bracelets with knots on them. For some of you guys, you could be practicing your binding skills. You could be getting into binding magic, or you could be working on untying a binding or learning how to untie bindings. Although I will say, I am being told that you be careful who you share this knowledge to, and I think this also applies for me, the one like channeling. So I'm not gonna give too much information because, like I said before on my previous reading, because I remember mentioning that to be careful because some people watching this might reverse engineer some things and actually try to use it against me or against the people in the collective. So, tough luck, but that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna keep this to myself. Alright. Alrighty, with the Queen of Swords in reverse. Alright. Ah! No! No! No, I don't want to talk about. Well, I mean, no. Do I want to talk about this? Wait, hold on. Actually, let me bet real quick. Evens for yes, odd numbers for no. Should I talk about this? Is that why you're bringing this shit up? I want to keep this for my blue sky. This is so sad. I post whatever on Blue Sky. Basically, it's like my personal having thoughts for the Two of Pentacles. Oh no. Okay, hold on. Another one just in case. Bro. Alright, well, I guess we're talking about it then. Alrighty. Well, so the reason why I was hesitant to talk about it is because I made the discovery literally yesterday. Well, with a friend, along with my best friend. But um we both discovered, but I will say it more on my end because that's personal for him. But I personally discovered that there's nothing wrong with matriarchy if done healthily and right, but toxic matriarchy is terrifying because not to say that anyone feminine or anyone also yeah non-gender exclusive or anyone um should be nurturing all the time and good and kind and stuff like that, because that is not the entirety of the feminine energy, like the divine feminine energy. But at a certain point, you get out of touch with what it truly means to stand your ground, because there's a difference between standing your ground and being a tyrant. Because when you're standing your ground, you don't need to insult people. You don't need to put people down. You don't need to make people feel afraid. That's not the point of these archetypes. Even with the divine masculine, like the divine masculine energy is all about strategy, being grounded, being I don't want to say that. No, I don't want to say that though because like it that's just gender stereotypes and I don't want to but and also the divine masculine can also be nurturing and the divine feminine can also provide. So, yeah. But it's the uncontrolled version of that energy that makes it be that. Like for example, uncontrolled divine masculine energy looks like dictatorship, control issues, um aggression. So it's like you're deconstructing because don't get me wrong, any gender, any gender can be horrible. Not just this or the other or everything in between. Any gender can be horrible if you are not working on yourself, not working on your shadow, not looking at not looking at the traits that make up or the things that you need to work on yourself, basically. And I feel okay, especially with the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords being here. A lot of this has to do with the way that we again stand up for ourselves. Um, you can still stand up for yourself without putting somebody down. You can still stand up for yourself without calling them names, without making fun of them, without being harmful. And I feel like in this reading, accountability is super duper important, especially with how I was reading, the justice card. Um, whoever this is that thinks they're gonna get away with this, or actively thinks that they already got away with it, um, is everything is gonna get balanced out, and it's gonna be so in their face that they no longer can operate out of this frequency, out of this like iron fist ruler. It's my word against yours. My word is law. Um, it's my way or the highway. Yeah. No, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. And it never was. You just were able to operate from that. I'm also sorry if I sound so just serious out of nowhere. I guess it's because the reading itself is important and somebody out there really needs to hear it. So I haven't been as giddy. I also do feel the importance in this reading, but um there's going to be a lot of unchecked authorities that are going to start getting checked. Um for some of you guys, it could have directly to do because they messed with you. And you could have warned this person multiple times. You could have told this person like, "Hey, I'm spiritual and I have a strong spirit team. And my spirit team don't play about me, and my spirit team does protect me. And don't get me wrong, sometimes your spirit team, as harsh as it sounds, sometimes your spirit team will not protect you. Like if you are in the wrong, objectively in the wrong, or even if both people are in the wrong, they'll still use certain things or certain people to show you why you shouldn't be doing what you're doing, depending on the severity of the situation. Because if it's something, like just like somebody called you ugly online, like that's different. That's like, but if somebody took things too far, like and abused you, abused your kindness, abused you financially, that's different because it's like, okay, so, and I'm also getting specifically some of you guys um have this thing where it's like, whether it's because of your chart astrologically or it's something that you've honed, it's something that you have, like it comes with um you allow people that don't normally get their dues to get their dues. But also at the same time, it's kind of like alchemical, like alchemy going on, where it's like you're going to experience this, but this person's going to experience this, and they're going to heal that. Like, because it's almost like they'll have no more, um, it's kind of like when somebody fills their tank is what I'm seeing, and they keep going and they keep going and they keep going, and they're running so many people over, and then they run you over, and like their car starts malfunctioning. Some of you guys could have a car that's malfunctioning, like a literal car that's malfunctioning, and because don't get me wrong, you should never pick with anybody, but there are certain people that you don't know who backs them up. You don't know who their ancestor was. You don't know who their protector was. You don't know the family history that they come from. You don't know where that person came from or where they're going. Like, it almost makes me think also about the person. Okay, like I keep, yeah, the person that, like, okay, I'm gonna use an allegory because I don't actually want to use names just in case. So I'm gonna use an allegory, but basically, um, when somebody creates, somebody is creating a patent for electricity or a patent for, let's say, like, uh water cars, and this corporate is trying so hard to stop them, you know, from creating this patent, or this person is so, like, jealous of this other person, and it's like, what I'm seeing is like somebody being like, dude, what gives? I'm trying to make this patent or this thing so that we can all have a better quality of life, so that we can all have a better future. And you're like, and let's say, for example, that person unfortunately passes away due to sabotage from somebody close, or somebody that they thought was close, or like a coworker. And then it's that kind of thing. It's weird phrasing it right now, but I'm just channeling, so please don't shoot the messenger. But it's kind of like that. If I can't have it, nobody can type of mentality. But it's also kind of like that level of kind of, hey, you got stuff to do. You got stuff to work on. You got stuff to do, stuff to create, people to help. Because I have the belief that even the tiniest of ripples can cause such a huge effect. I believe fully in the butterfly effect, because that's why whenever we say stuff like, "Oh, one person can't do any, like, one thing," don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about you having to do everything for everyone. That's different. That's something that I'm resting out of, and learning to not have to carry that weight, you know, as somebody hyper independent. But I'm talking about people that people that know they have something that they need to be doing that will contribute greatly. But even the tiniest thing, you could work on a visual novel, for example. You could work on a book, and somebody could read that book, and then that somebody could use that book as inspiration to create another thing that will be equally impactful. It's kind of like that ripple effect, like, you, because they're showing me matches being lit, like one match starting it off and then other matches lighting up, that type of thing. And so what this person doesn't realize is that them getting in the middle of this can get them, is getting them a lot of consequences. For some of them, they could have lost their job. Like I said, they could have lost a passion project that they were working on. They could have be getting, I'm being told, sick, like their animals are acting weird around them. Um that's who I know that a lot of Greek mythology that seems to be a common theme. Um so it could very well be Greek mythology. However, I was getting a lot from the Egyptian pantheon, so if you resonate with the Egyptian pantheon, by all means, you know. I hope that this message will resonate and will make sense to those that need it, to those that need to hear it, because it's making sense for me in my little mediumship brain. But I guarantee you, when I watch it back, I'm gonna be like, huh. Unless things play out and stuff like that. Um, Let me see what else is there, spirit, because I'm gonna be here for another hour and 20 minutes. Yeah. Alright. Thanatos is being highlighted here. Passing, um, passing, huh? Um, you could be some type of cycle pump that helps people cross over. You could also be like in your dreams. You could basically see like dead relatives, see how they died, speak to them, commute with them. You could do that in the astral as well. Um, if not that, then Thanatos is just helping you out with grief. Because grief doesn't necessarily have to be somebody actually passing away. It could literally be, because when we disconnect from people or situations, there's still a level of grief that we all experience. Even if, you're the one to walk away from people, or you're the one to like have to make the difficult decision of going away. Um, because truly, whenever that happens, there is no winner in the situation. Because it's like, well, I still had to walk away. I still had to leave you. I still had to make that difficult decision for the both of us to stay away, you know? Um, so I feel like Thanatos is helping you out with that. Could also be Egyptian pantheon deity associated with crows or blackbirds or just black animals in general. I know Bastet is associated with black cats. So maybe she's significant to some of y'all. Maybe you guys could have a black cat called Bastet. Alrighty. High Priestess and the Hangman in reverse. Alrighty. Yeah, like I said, for some of you guys, you could be very spiritual. You could be a bridge, I'm hearing. Like a bridge between worlds. Where it's like you have an exceptional communication with multiple different um planes of existence. Mm, I don't wanna. You guys could be. Hold on. Let me ask. I will see. Okay, Ten of Pentacles. That's a yes. Alrighty. Okay, that's a queen. That's a no. Evens are yes, odd numbers are no, spirit. That's judgment, yes. Okay, so we got 2 out of 3 yeses. Alrighty. Alright, so, like I mentioned, some of you guys could be bridges, some of you guys could have an exceptional channeling ability where it's like, you know things just by feeling the vibes. You could also really have great pattern recognition. You could be a Pisces or have Pisces in your chart or a very prominent planet or very important planet. Um, like you, the Hangman. Is that the Hang? Yes, that's the Hangman. Okay. You know what you're about. And you know it. And I feel like the remember who you are. Also, like remember who you are, where you came from, and where you're going. All right. Let me see. Thank you, Spirit. Always nice. 4 of Wands. I'm hearing Vesta. Oh, Hangman again. Okay. What about this Hangman Spirit? Okay. Card. Hangman, High Priestess again. Okay. For some of you guys, you could be interested in getting some apprenticeship of some kind, or you could be learning more about the mythology of the Egyptian deities. I think there's a name for the pantheon. If I remember correctly, it's maybe the Hermetic pantheon. I could very well be wrong. Whoops, sorry about that. I opened my browser. I opened my browser, and the one time I wasn't expecting for stuff to sound, it sounds. Because I like the little introduction. Okay. Alrighty. Ooh, for some of you guys, I'm hearing. Oh, is this specifically for me? Hold on, let me vet that. I want to see. I'm curious, but I will also speak on it. For y'all. Like, hold on. It's 2 of Wands. Okay. 5 of Cups. Even numbers are yes, odd numbers are no, Spirit, please. I've been doing so much vetting today, but it's so important. Hold on. Alrighty. Okay, that looks like a no. Alright. Well, for some of you guys specifically, you could be getting into the path of being a high priestess for a specific deity, or being initiated for being a high priestess of that specific deity. Ah, now I see why they don't want it to be for me specifically, because I don't want to do that personally. Because I like channeling just in general. And while the High Priestess is my indicator card, I still don't I don't like the idea of working for a single deity. Although, alrighty. Sorry about that. Like I said, I'm channeling and it's whatever comes out, so sometimes I'll like surprise myself with my own readings. Hopefully I'm gonna start actually like posting videos I haven't really posted videos and I prefer going live because it takes so long for videos to upload. I basically would have to post at night and would have to leave my videos uploading basically. Although that wouldn't be the case if my videos were shorter. So I'm gonna try and do that and see how it goes. All right, let's see. Let us see. Something about sight. Like, oh, some of you guys could be seers. Some of you guys could see auras, feel emotions, feel the auras. What do you need to release? Okay. I got my oracle deck because I felt called to grab it. Alrighty. A win-win outcome is forecast. Ooh. I wonder. And he pondered. Oh, what the heck? Okay. Sorry. I was shuffling and then the Five of Wands tipped over. So I'm gonna take that. So you could have gone through some conflict, or this could literally not be about conflict at all and be more so on the end of this could literally be more about meditating content. Bro, this is crazy. Be more about you excelling in a specific thing. All right. So with new moon in Capricorn, with your hard work is paying off, meditate and contemplate, a win-win outcome is forecast. And what do you need to release? By letting go of an outcome or because you think something specific needs to be able to happen in order for you to get this, you're actually going to wind up going towards that even more because you're allowing yourself. Oh my gosh! Because you're allowing yourself to rest and recover. Bro. Bro, this is crazy, dog. No! It is for me! You lied to me. Hold on. Because I am also on my resting period. I think I will make a post about it, but I've basically only ever been going live whenever I feel super duper called to. Um, so I have been resting because there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. Alrighty, hold on. Oh, super important. Very specifically, if because sometimes when we're intuitive, people don't. People will tend to lean more onto the logical side of things very often, and that's okay because like I would prefer it that way anyways. But there are certain things that are gonna start lining up that'll make like if people didn't believe you before, certain things are gonna start happening to where it's like they can no longer ignore it, and they're gonna be like that. It has to be more than just coincidence. Like it's gonna be like very on the nose with like physical proof, where it's like let's say for example you told somebody that something was gonna happen, you know, and they were like, yeah, I don't think that's the case. Um, they're going to, and without like not even with malice or anything, like just like, without malice, you know, it's going to be something where I'm hearing specifically they're either gonna get it shown through a dream, through signs, um, or their own spirit team could manifest some way somehow to let them know, like, hey, you could be warning somebody about something, and then they don't either. I'm seeing a quote from a thing that I saw on TikTok a couple days ago. Um, but it was basically like we can only understand what our minds are capable of understanding. Um, no, it wasn't like that. It was more complex, but that's all I could think of right now. I'm sorry. Alrighty. Do 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 do. Is there anything else, Spirit, that you'd like to know? Because we're gonna be here for another hour. Or maybe we should shorten these and make them like an hour and 30 minutes. Do 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 do. Expect powerful change. You and your loved ones are safe. Do 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 do. What the fuck? Oh, sorry. I dropped my tarot cards. Surrender to the divine. Alright. I love when these things come out because the the thing itself was the gods have your back. And the thing is, yes, as humans, we are important. We, like I said, the way, because just because divinity is important doesn't mean that I don't consider myself important. Or that you should consider yourself unimportant because you are not divine. Um, the two truths can coexist just fine. I am seeing though that a lot of the next events following the months, the continuing months, are going to be very revealing and are also going to be like, because I'm seeing people be like, yo, um, especially if like they doubted you or underestimated you. Alright, hold on, a card fell. Let me go get it. And when cards fall, usually means that the message is important. Ugh! I can't reach it. There we go. What do you need to release? Again, what do you need to release? For some of y'all, it's the... Some of you guys have very high unrealistic expectations about yourselves. Where it's like... Man! Hold on. I'm hearing the... White man did it in 1 week. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. So maybe it's this, and I feel like this applies to me too. This unrealistic expectation that because ah no they're grilling me. God damn it. Because you hold a certain level of skill, in some cases authority, that you should be solely responsible for everyone and everything around you. Oh no! Bro! Oh. No, but I needed this though. No, but I needed this, and I needed to hear this very much. No! Dude. Have more joy, have more whimsy. Don't be so serious all the time. And I'm laughing at myself because um I've had this conversation so many times with my best friend, and I love him platonically. Um Dude, low key might be significant. Yeah, some of you guys, okay, you need to find a balance between. Oh my god! You need to find a balance between the astral and Earth. Um, and this applies to people that have like content creator, like our content creators on here, and like you have specific things that you can do. Take a chill pill, take a break, relax. Um, and being so vulnerable in the past, because that's not. I'm still struggling with it, but it's more struggling with deconstructing it. Um, than anything. But it's you don't have the entire weight of the world on your shoulders, even if it feels that way. You are not solemnly responsible for an entire collective, even if it feels that way. Because if it's kind of like they're showing me an example through soccer and football or sport. If you get injured, right, during a match, it sucks because you're gonna get benched. You're gonna get sent to the bench. You're not gonna be able to play, and you're gonna be feeling like, I really want to do this. I really want to play. I really want to participate in this. Um, but if you try and play football with your injured leg, and this is so hilarious on my end because I am physically disabled. But, anyways, if you try to play football with an injured leg, you're not only not even going to get the goal, but you're going to further endanger yourself from being able to do the things that you do. Oh my god. Further endanger yourself from being able to do the things that you do because you're not resting. The level of sass that I'm getting right now from my spirit team is unreal, and I wish you guys could hear it. Okay, I had a feeling they were gonna talk about this, but they truly did set me up. They truly did set me up. Um, but that's okay. Hold on, I have no idea why the quality of the live is going the way it's going. but I'm going to keep going anyways because it's not telling me that it. Okay, the signal is good. Alrighty. Alrighty. Now that you have finished grilling me, what more messages do you have? Surrender to the divine. You and your loved ones are safe. Bro. Alrighty. A fiery climax approaches? Oh, I know that. Which is why I've been freaking out. Which is why they're telling me to rest. Um, Full moon in Aries. Yeah. Pan could be significant for some of you guys because of the ram horns. And also, like, I don't know what it is specifically about this card specifically that reminds me of him, but that could be very significant. The point, okay, I think the point that a personal issue reaches resolution. Ooh. Nice. Alrighty. I think the point that they're trying to make here is that, especially with the title being, like, the gods have your back, like, you don't have to do a whole lot of everything because you have people IRL that can help you out if you're too tired to do something. If they're not also too tired, because we also have to respect other people's autonomy and decisions and boundaries. But, um, you also have, as above, so below, or mundane before magic. But you also have a spiritual team that can help you out. Literally, okay, that's on me too because I didn't explicitly communicate that, but I am making it clear right now. I do need help. I would like your help, yes, very much from my spirit team. I appreciate that. But you do have a team that is willing to help you out, especially like how I was saying. How people have that closeness. We have that closeness with deities where it feels more of like a deeper bond. Um, like it doesn't feel like a work relationship. There's nothing wrong with just work relationships. If that's the level that you wish to have with that deity, that's the level you're at. And that's okay. Like there's even people that have even like considered the fact that like, hey, I cannot offer God spousal because I don't think I'm ready for that level of commitment, but I wouldn't mind offering certain things that don't feel as tying or as committal to that. And that's the level you're at, and that's fine. I've seen people attack other people for that, and I don't think we should be doing that. I think if that's the level you're at, then there's no shame in that because that's where you're at in your journey at the moment. It could change, or it could very well not change. Or you could also decide that God spousal or God work is not your thing, and that's absolutely fine. They keep okay. For some of you guys, you could be working with a specific deity. It could either be a deity associated with a body of water associated with crabs, because I don't know every single deity at the top of my head, but I do know that they can describe themselves to me. Like they can give me certain attributes, and that's how I'll know, and that's how you'll know because you'll be like, ah, I know them because of this and this and it, but I don't because I don't have the name specifically. But if there's someone out there that works with a deity that their main thing is crabs, um, or even like the bodies of water, I'm hearing like ye y YEM, something along those lines. Um, you could also be working with the constellation. I haven't really seen people working with constellations as like celestials. It would be a really interesting concept to see though, but maybe that's significant. Um, it could also be a deity that specializes in emotions because they're so watery. Like you could be leaning more onto shadow work, leaning more onto oh yeah, this deity specifically really wants you to take care of yourself. They really want you to lean more into the soft aspect of things. This could be Archangel Gabriel for some of you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wait, that's crazy. Wait. Yeah, this could be Archangel Gabriel for some of you. Cuz he's been seeing you guys going through the ringer when it comes to emotional situations, when it comes to dealing with people, and it's like, hey, it's about time that you start prioritizing yourself, that you start saying no, because for some of you guys could be out here wanting to say no when you mean yes, or no, sorry, wanting to say no, just full stop saying no, or wanting to say, like you say yeah, but really you mean no, and you need to start kind of growing out of that because it's not really benefiting you. It's actually making it worse for you. Because we're communicating to the other person that we want something when we truly don't want something, and that's not beneficial. That's like it's as unfair to the other person because the other person's just following the communication that you set, and it's unfair to you because and I get it that it comes from trauma. It comes from childhood wounds and not being able to say um and like having to say yes to keep the peace, to avoid conflict. But the thing is you're safe now. You're safe now and there's nothing that you really have to worry about when it comes to saying no when you mean no. You know? Like or saying things when you mean it. Oh my god. Like for some of you guys also you could really be into unicorns or pegasi or both. Um that's also coming through. You guys could have had like a childhood toy of some kind that resembled a unicorn or a pegasi. Right. I'm okay. Step out of your comfort zone. Adjustments are required. Okay. So there's definitely things in the works, especially on the emotional department. Don't, and I say this as somebody, to be vulnerable once again. I have struggled with agoraphobia my whole life. I never knew that it was agoraphobia until I did the proper research on it. Um, some of you guys need to like you could also struggle with some kind of phobia. Maybe you're like afraid of like massively afraid of change or massively afraid or have some kind of phobia regarding social situations. And they want you guys to work on that because you can't stay cooped up in your home forever. Like you cannot you're missing out on great opportunities because you stay home so much or because you avoid certain situations, people and places that could very well be helping you. Um Getting a little bit personal here, but I figured but since they already gave me the message about resting and stuff, but um I'm hearing some of this may have something to do with COVID because a lot of us during 2020, we learned that staying home was safer and that kind of stuck to us. So I do wonder if that has something to do with that. Or you had a significant event in 2020 that kind of left you feeling some type of way. But they're saying specifically that there is no event that will be the same over and over and over. Like there will be different because we're not like those choice based games where it's like you make one choice and that's the choice that you're stuck in forever. Like you have the ability, like if it's within your realm of control, you have the ability to be able to say, "Hey, actually, I don't like this. Hey, actually, I do like this." Like let's say for example, you are agoraphobic and you decide to step out of your house and then you decide to go to this really nice restaurant. Um, but you go to the restaurant and it's crowded and there's so many people there and it's so frustrating and scary. However, you still have the choice to be able to go somewhere that is quieter, more comforting. Um, you have different coping skills that you can apply. So don't be afraid of ooh, don't be afraid of things exploding on you. This could very well be trauma. Like, oh, I was gonna say past trauma, but I almost said past life trauma. So this could also be something that happened in your past life that you're deconstructing now. Not the exact same thing, but pretty much similar. Where it's like, oh, if I stay here, then I will be safe. And the thing is, it's like that one saying with the birds, like caged birds will choose comfortability over freedom because freedom feels like uncertainty. And at the very least, being caged, you know you have food. But here's the scary part. Do you have food? And like, do you have a guarantee? Because you're caged, do you have the guarantee that the person that's giving you the food will always be there? And again, like my ratings are never meant to scare anybody, but it is something that there needs to be some consideration about, especially with step out of your comfort zone. Um, Alrighty, what else? Ooh, that's fun. I like this. I like this because I went from a more serious tone from Giddy, and now we're getting Giddy again, so I'm pretty happy about that. So yeah, I like that the reading has turned lighthearted. Um, there's gonna be certain exciting events that are gonna be sent your way, but you need to be receptive towards those. Also, a lot of this has to do with PTSD. A lot of this has to do with, like I said, past trauma, um, past hurts. We've learned to we've learned that solitude feels safer than company. Damn. Damn. Alrighty. Ah, I dropped. Okay, hold on. Man, be bold and make the first move. Yeah. Alrighty. That'll do it for me. Man. um. Sorry, I dropped my cards and I'm trying to get them. Give me 1 second. Again. This is so funny to me because it started out as, yeah, we got your back. Yeah, don't worry about it. And now it's like, look at this. You can no longer ignore it because you're channeling it in public. Um, if somebody try to do a smear campaign against you, that's being righted. That is also popping up in my head. Like, it's become like it's kind of funny because it's become so on the nose to whoever did this that like it's like yeah, because you did this, you're going through this now. And because okay, the way that they're asking me to channel, the way that they're asking me to read, right? And this will be confirmation for somebody. Strangers that you've never ever interacted with are telling this person things that you specifically told them. Or like saying phrases that you specifically told them. And it's freaking them out. It's freaking them out because it's like, how did this person know? They don't even know this other person. And that's spirit. That's spirit because they're like it's because you did this to this person. I'm being told that they're being sent mirrors. Mirrors of the behaviors that they exhibited with you until they work on that. I'm hearing sick 'em, sick 'em, sick 'em. Oh, again, the animal thing is coming through. Like their animals could be acting weird around them again. Oh, the death card. Oh, bro. That doesn't mean literal death, but in my case it does mean like Santa Muerte, who I am devoted to. Uh, all right, nice. That makes sense. That makes so much sense. I'm gonna keep that to myself for now. Take time to breathe out. Yeah. Conclusions are within reach. And balance spirituality and practicality. Again, the whole thing of like mundane before magic, and also knowing that both sides of you are important. Just because one or like let's say for example, um they're using this is so silly, but they're using Superman as an example. Superman also has his identity. I forgot his actual name. I will look it up later, but like I'm just channeling on a whim here. But Superman also had an ordinary life. Superman also had to buy groceries and pay taxes and basically, you know, survive and meet his needs. And then when he wasn't able to meet those needs, he would rest. Um, I don't know much about the DC universe if I'm being completely honest, but if it makes sense to somebody out there, it makes sense. Um, they okay, really they really want you to go easy on yourself, and especially because this collective has gone through so much already. To the point where again, repetition, like you might be subconsciously repeating trauma that was previously inflicted onto yourself again, and they really want you to stop doing that. Bro, bro. And making me glance at the take time to breathe out is diabolical, actually. Okay. Alrighty. Alright. I did want to read more silly like. So I'm gonna start doing that actually. Any silly messages that you have in mind? Loki, if you need to come true, you need to come through. And that is perfectly fine. Some of you guys could be getting dreams about the take time to breathe out. Yeah. Bro, they said y'all need to calm down, bro. Like, okay, with everything going on globally, it's perfectly understandable. Oh, this card came out reverse, but I don't read reversals, so I'm gonna. Alrighty. So, bulls might also be significant. You may have deities that you associate with bulls, um, or centaurs. Oh, Chiron. Chiron might be significant for some of you. Oh my god. Okay, the synchronicities that I'm getting in this reading are crazy. But Chiron, um, if you know about Chiron's archetype, he was the wounded healer, and myth-wise, he received a wound to his knee, um, and then I took an arrow to the knee. Some of you guys might like Skyrim, actually. I'm sorry. But you you very much fit this archetype too, where it's like you want to heal people, you want to be helpful, you want to help, but you're also pretty wounded. You also have an ouchie, and you need to tend to yourself, you know? Just because they're saying like you're not Chiron, sit down. I love my spirit. I love my spirit team so much. You're not Chiron. Sit the fuck down. Okay. Um. Yeah. They they really really want you to be kinder to yourselves. Um, and also stop worrying because there could very well be um some level of interference that wants you to feel afraid, that wants you to feel like everything is going wrong, when in reality everything is actually going right, but they want you to feel that way. Or why did that start moving on its own? That's kind of scary. Oh my gosh. Hello. Oh my god. Bro. The bell chimes that I have up here started moving and like chiming. For some of you guys, you could cleanse. You should cleanse. You should cleanse. You should cleanse. Cleanse your space. You could be using the sound of bells. Bells are very cleansing. Bells have a high frequency that are very cleansing. Um, if you have a feeling that somebody is sending stuff your way, some of you guys may clap to cleanse your energy, actually. Like, clapping, just, um, for some of you guys, you can dance to cleanse your energy, move your body. It also helps you feel less stifled. Helps you feel like music is a huge part for some of you guys here. Again, more confirmation on Apollo. Also, if we take into consideration that a bull is a masculine cow, that could also be significant. Alrighty. The white man did it in 1 week. Again. Again. Bro. Okay. A win-win outcome is forecast and a time for healing. Okay. So you're being asked to kind of be... Basically, they want you to be sitting pretty. Actually, this is funny because I have my Venus in Taurus, which is the chillest sign to have your Venus at. So y'all know that I like, my good stuff. You guys could also be Venuses in Taurus. You could have Moon in Taurus. Um, just pamper yourselves. Allow yourself to just kind of, because I'm gonna, like, with prosperity lies ahead, the more you heal and the more you chill, the easier it'll be for you guys to manifest what it is that you want. Which is also kind of why this opposition kind of wants you to not be chilling and kind of want you to be high cortisol because they cut up on that. Can I get identifier cards or signs, zodiac signs for this? Reminder that you could be, or they could be, they could be the sign. All right, let's see. That is an unanswer. Okay, so you have Aquarius. You got Capricorn. It could be your sign or their signs. Alright. Also, very important to note, but the end of a tough cycle approaches is the card that Capricorn is from, and I just felt like that was relevant. A new romantic cycle begins, so Libra. So that's Libra, Capricorn, Aquarius. Oh, we got eclipse energy. Nice. This could very well be happening during the time of a significant eclipse. There could be like a solar eclipse. Yeah, there's been a lot of solar eclipses lately. Over the course of, like, isn't that so cool? I love spacey stuff. Alrighty. Scorpio could also be significant. Virgo. All right. So you could be a Virgo, you could be a Scorpio, you don't have to be. They could have these prominent placements in their chart. I was definitely getting that watery energy coming through earlier too. Like a sort of like fear-based barrier is what I I kept seeing that. Um Hold on. I'm gonna read with this through tarot. But that's all they can do. Like, Spirit wants me to let y'all know. Scaring you is all they can do because they know that they can't harm you physically or spiritually because you have really strong protections and people that protect you, both IRL and in the spiritual. So all they can really do is do like ruses. Um, there's an aspect of this person pretending to be somebody close to you or somebody that like a shapeshifter energetically some kind. Right. We got the Tower card. That's what they're gonna. Yeah, Loki. Hi, Loki. Thank you for showing up on my reading. But okay. Yeah, you have nothing to worry about. Literally. Like I got the Tower and then I got the Four of Swords. Um, but this tower did have to happen. Like the Moon card. Nice. Okay. This tower definitely did have to happen. Because there were certain things that were no longer serving you. And like I said, they really do want you to be sitting pretty right now. They want you to be indulging in comfort. They want you to be taking care of your mental health. Like, don't go out of your way to seek and this could very well trigger warning for those that need it. I'm gonna be mentioning SH. This could very well be a form of self-harm because self-harm doesn't have to be physical. It can literally be psychological. It could literally be seeing things that you know are going to upset you. Um, Seeing people getting hurt and knowing that you can't do anything about it is also a form of psychological self-harm. And they really want for you to surround yourself with people that love and care about you. Know that you matter. Know that your place in the world matters. Know that it's okay to not know everything about everything. Especially Archangel Gabriel really, really wants y'all to chill and sit down. If you work with him. Because I'm hearing like, my baby, my baby. No, guys, this is so sad. Oh, okay. Um, oh, I have something in my country. It's an urban legend. It's called cadejos, and they're really pretty, and they're bringing up like the cadejos. I know that has personal significance for me because I have a character that is a cadejo, and I will be posting it actually on my toy house if any one of you guys are interested on my toy house. Same user as this, by the way. But basically, um, it's okay for you to not know everything. It's okay for things to be hidden from you. Actually, a friend of yours has some information that they're purposely not sharing with you, and I will keep this very in mind also. But it's because they want you to rest. It's because they want you to be comfortable and not be in this energy of fear, literal terror and fear and despair. Um, Whether or not they're going to share that information, I'm not being told. So it's probably for the best not. Um, because they want you to be resting. Yeah. Man. Yeah, with the Four of Wands. Yeah. It's giving, I got your back from right here. Alright. What else? What else, low key? Oh, okay, strength. Remind yourself that you're stronger than you think. Remind yourself that the only thing that can really, truly get you out of alignment is ultimately yourself. Yourself and your outdated beliefs, your outdated ways of thinking. Some of you guys could struggle with BPD and splitting episodes. I personally struggle with panic episodes where it's like I can't reason whenever I am too scared or terrified or feel cornered or feel like there's gonna be irreparable consequences for things. Um, Allow yourself to kind of, as it's kind of, they're giving me like that one scene in Steven Universe where there's so many butterflies, there's so many thoughts, so many information coming out at once. Especially Sapphire being an oracle of sorts, and her seeing so many things into the future, knowing so many things that could happen, but it's like they could happen, but are they happening? Wow. Holy crap. Yeah, no, I really needed to hear this. So it's like give yourself the same grace that you would give to other people. Ah, ah, that is so mean. No, it's not mean. I'm just messing around, but give yourself the same grace that you give to other people. Especially considering that you seem to give grace time after time after time after time after time to people that should have not been given that grace in the first place. So, yeah, this is fun. We're actively doing shadow work in this live stream. Nice. We'd love to see it. Um, so yeah, if I feel the hangman, the hangman, bro, dude, this is so funny. Oh my god. Also 144 on my clock. That's nice. That's my divine number. No. Oh man. Dude, I love my guides so much. I love my guides so much. They have a very specific way to convey information. Yeah. Yeah, again to the like you don't need to know everything. You don't need to know everything, and not knowing is okay. Um so and also very important, and this works also as a self-reminder, but even if you were to know exactly how one thing would go from point A to point B, sometimes by interfering with that specific thing, we actually wind up going straight towards that very thing that we tried so desperately to avoid. Um, so by you thinking, oh, I should do this because then if I do this, this thing is no longer going to be the case. But then, by you doing that thing specifically, you never know if that's actually the reason why that thing even happened in the first place. Not to like blame anybody for anything or anything like that. No, but if you know things and you're out here like it's kind of like the time paradoxes where it's like we can't interfere with time because if we were to change one thing it would change the course of the entirety of the thing that and that happens a lot in Greek tragedy actually in like writings and stuff. So if you're an intuitive, um I would say surrender to the divine like the card was saying. um and just sit and do nothing. Do absolutely nothing and just let things play out. Okay, that is a good self reminder because being so vulnerable again. I'm the type of person that it's like, oh, but if I say this and then if I explain it in this angle, and then if I say this and this and this and this and this, then that's gonna change this and this and this and this. But the thing is, like, if the other person is not willing to hear you out, and if the other person is not seeing where you're coming from, you're flying on deaf ears. You are just it's like trying to argue with a wall because you could have the information, you could know things, but you can't. Oh my god, that's so funny. You're not Wanda. You're not Wanda. Oh my bro. Yeah. You're not just gonna miraculously manifest like a safety net around the people that you want to keep safe. You not only that, but by not letting people experience the things that they're meant to experience, you are taking on a responsibility that isn't yours, and you are preventing that person to learn from the important life lessons that certain things bring. I got hiccups. Um, so yeah. Here Comes the Thought, the song is relevant. So they want you to stay as grounded as you possibly can. Not them being like, listen to the hangman. Oh my god, that's so funny. Um, but yeah, crows may be significant again. It could be Loki. Loki could be showing himself through black wolves, crows, black horses. Sorry, I forgot. Um, dude, this is crazy, dog. I'd be out here channeling the King of Cups, bro. Release me. Release me. Okay, yeah, no, they want you to be grounded and like, okay, yeah, no, remember who the fuck you are. Like, cause if you keep in mind that you're the it boy or the it girl or the it person, um, these energies won't even touch you. Won't even do anything. Like, you don't even have to do anything. That's why this title is The Gods Have Your Back. Like, that is how locked in you are. Alright. You could be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Oh, for some of you guys, this could be your partner because yippee. That's also protecting you. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I want to be part of your world. Alright. The Hierophant. Yep. The Justice. What's that song that goes, don't you worry, child. Let me actually look it up. Cause that's what I just heard, and I want to know. Bro, literally me talking about Loki this entire live stream, and I check my Discord, and it's people talking about Loki on like different conversations. That's crazy. Hi, Loki. I love that. Hold on, let me look up the lyrics. Me, I love my horse. My horsey, my horse. Me, I love my horse. My horsey, my horse. No, not that song. No, not that song. No, not that song. It would be that song to be Loki. They gave me the F a horse. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that, guys. Obviously. Um, hold on. What is the Don't You Worry Child song? There was a time I used to look into my father's eyes in a happy home. I was a king, I had a golden throne. Those days are gone, now they're memories on the wall. I hear the songs from places when I was born, up on the hill across the blue lake. The blue lake. That's where I had my first heartbreak. I still remember how it all changed. My father said, "Don't you worry. See, heaven's got a plan for you. Don't you worry now." Aww. There was a time I met a girl of a different kind. We ruled the world. I thought I'd never lose her out of my sight. We were so young, I think of her now and then. I still hear the songs reminded me of that friend. Up on the hill across the blue lake. That's where my first heartbreak. I remember how it all changed. Yeah, so this might resonate with some of you. Doesn't have to, but if it did, that's great. But yeah, um, if it resonates, if it helps. Anything else you want to say, Mister Loki, Mister Horse, Hans? You have many playful and silly times ahead of you. I really do feel like he's trying to iterate a lot. Especially with the sun card showing up right now. This isn't to invalidate anybody that has gone through hard things, anybody that has gone through difficulty, but this is more to like look at look at the bright side. Look at everything great that you have currently. Like look at all the friends that you have right now. Look at maybe you could be like, but Moon, I lost my job and my car broke down and I lost a very significant object or I lost somebody, like you are still allowed to grieve while also taking care of yourself, while also allowing yourself to feel happy. You don't need to always be in that doom and gloom going in circles. Matter of fact, when you choose softness and gentleness and kindness, you'll start to realize that's that's what you're attracting. Like by all means, grieve, cry, write it out. um hug your plushie, hug your pet, you know, but allow yourself to also have moments of laughter, moments of kindness to yourself, kindness to those around you. Um, you don't have to be one thing all the time, is specifically what I'm hearing. You can be many different things, many different emotions, feel all the different emotions. Feel, oh my gosh, I'm getting choked up, I'm sorry. Oh, but if it helps somebody out there, instead of focusing solemnly on the things that you don't have anymore, focus on the things that you do have. Like, like for example, your partner saying good morning to you every morning and good night every night, and um, your dog that walks up to you to greet you, to see you smile, your birds, your hamster, you know, like, don't allow yourself for one specific event to become your entire life. Because the more you, and I don't want this to sound invalidating, but like at some point this feels important because at some point you do kind of have to surrender that. At some point you do, especially if it's been years. And this is a harsh message. I understand. Um, nobody can go up to you and say like, "Oh, just move on," because I don't want for this to feel like, "Oh, just move on." But if you want to release so much tension, anger, frustration, the first thing you should do is move towards the present. You know? Not even the future, the present. Like, what do you have right now with you? Not even the future, because the only thing that's constant is change. So, what do you have right now that you're grateful for, that you know makes you smile, makes you happy, makes you feel blessed? Not to not look at the empty cups and wonder, like, and have those moments, but do move towards that present. What is happening now that you have now that you feel so grateful for? That you feel like for example, because I often feel as if though as a collective sometimes we do kind of, it's like that you never know what you have until it's gone type of thing, you know? Where it's like you become so accustomed to the presence of somebody in your life, or you become so used to a certain routine in your life that, like, let's say for example me, with the fucking power outages that happen in my country all the time. Like, I'll be like, yay, I have power, I have internet, I'm so bored, I don't know what to do. And then the power goes out, and I'm like, damn, I really shouldn't have been taken yesterday for granted. Because it's like, you ever think of that? Like, thinking like, damn, like, I feel grateful for the internet because whenever I don't have the internet, I don't know what to entertain myself with outside of doing mundane things like drawing, for example, or
Although I'm not much of a traditional artist, if I'm being honest, but you could be. So if it resonates, it resonates. Um, but yeah. Hold on, what else? Yeah. All right. Um, you really should ought to be making more active effort to connect with your emotional side, your emotional body. Um, for those of you that feel like a disconnect between your emotional body and your mental body, that's not going to be for long. It's because of this grief period that you endured. If you do feel disconnected, some of you guys could be struggling with apathy or mood swings, where it's like you'll feel very apathetic 1 minute and then the next minute you feel very like everything bothers you and everything makes you irritable. It's because of this grief period that you endured. Some of you guys could be going through a trauma anniversary, and that's okay because the body remembers, and that's nobody's fault. I definitely do feel like indulging in like things like writing it out. Maybe like, but Moon, I'm not a writer. Just write it out in a document. Write it out on a piece of paper and burn it. Um, write it out in or draw it out in art, but don't. Here's the thing about doing things in art. Absolutely do draw it out in art, but don't stay stuck on that feeling for too long, because then that kind of defeats the purpose of you drawing it out or you writing it out. Like if you go back to revisit, like you absolutely can sometimes if you're in a good headspace. But if you're in a similar headspace and you go back and you rewatch and rewatch and replay those things, you're only keeping yourself in a loop of pain. And that's not fair to you or the people around you. But most importantly, to you. Alrighty. Whew. Definitely felt like somebody out there needed to hear that because my chest felt better after saying that. Okay. There needs to be adjustments and a balancing out, like I was saying before, because there are things that are no longer serving you, and you know that those things are no longer serving you, but because you're holding on to those things that are no longer serving you, you are keeping yourself stuck in a loop. Um, Sometimes it does have something to do with the people around us. However, if it ends up being that you are always going through the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over, it's because you have to do something within yourself to change that. Maybe it's the way that you handle conflict. Maybe it's the way in which you handle being under pressure. Maybe for some of you guys could be very reactive. And you know what? That's okay because I am not going to demonize anybody on this channel for being reactive. I've always said it's the person, never the disorder when it comes to certain things, especially regarding NPD. Um, because I have been dealing with abusers for quite a while, and unfortunately, I did contribute to the stigma around NPD. But if somebody is committed enough to their healing journey and working themselves as a person, um, they can also grow out of that. And I want to apologize if anything I said in the past um, did felt like I was being unfair. That was my own pain speaking. And also because I was frustrated with that specific pattern of and that's the thing. I realized myself personally that in order to stop that type of pattern, in order to stop, because the thing is, people don't fully realize is it's not our fault that we stumble across abusers, but abusers gravitate towards anybody and stick around people that don't have the best boundaries. Um, so, and that's not to say that that's your fault, because that's the abuser's fault for targeting you in the first place. Because I don't want to victim blame or anything, but at the same time, we do have a responsibility of setting the proper boundaries, respecting boundaries when they are set by the other party, even if it sucks. There still has to be a level of mutual respect. And um I just feel like it's very important for people to realize the role that they also play, because the more that we're stuck in this mindset of like, oh yeah, no, they hurt me, they did everything wrong and I did nothing right, or I did everything right. Um the more we get stuck in this, I'm always the one that things happen to. Um and it's like you could easily shift that and think, yeah, things happen for me, not to me, because now, because of sad experiences in the past, I know what to look out for. I know how to differentiate between genuine connections and connections that don't seek out my best interests, especially if they want me to act on certain things that I feel as if though are not for my best interest. Because in what world is isolating myself from everybody around me going to benefit anybody, Other than the person that is advising me to do that. But when you're in those moments, you don't fully see it. Okay, we went from giddy to serious again. I'm so sorry. I guess that's just the nature of today's reading. I feel like it's because there's so many diverse energies. Um, but yeah, you guys should channel sillier stuff. You guys could channel stuff that is more akin to pop culture. Stuff that is more akin to like let's say for example like fictional characters. I've seen a lot of people work with the epithets for fictional characters and they've helped them. Um, Me personally, sometimes I dream about shows. I had this really hyper specific dream about BoJack Horseman that I'm gonna keep to myself because it was just very personal, but it was very hyper specific, and BoJack Horseman might resonate with somebody. Um, but indulge in silliness more. You don't have to be this really serious and stoic war general that has to be like enjoy life. If life has been nothing but serious to you, then make it be silly. Um, and you might be thinking, but like, what if I have no friends? And what if I don't have a support system that backs me up? And what if I don't have the resources? As somebody that went through something very similar, be okay because you, sadly, having friends and opening your heart to people comes at a cost, and it sucks if the people that you open your heart to aren't genuine and are looking for themselves above everything. But you need to learn to be comfortable with the idea that even if that happens, who truly loses? The person you were being genuine to, or you who got away from somebody that wasn't even genuine um in the first place, you know? Because that is also something that I discovered throughout dealing with stuff in the past is that I was moving with genuine intentions. I was moving with integrity. I was moving with respect. And if somebody does something to harm that, or does something to basically put themselves out of the position that I put them in, because I'm like, hey, I respect you, I value you as my friend, then that's not my loss. That's their loss because they lost somebody that was very genuine and trying their best to be there for them as much as I humanly could. And I lost somebody that was talking behind my back, making jokes at my expense behind my back, um, being petty, being harmful. So, yeah. Alrighty. Any other? The chariot, Mr. Chicken. Hello, Mr. Chicken. Yeah. Okay. Anything else before I close this reading? Yeah. More messages on stop being so serious all the time. Ugh. Ugh. No, no, thank you. I don't want to fall into being somebody stoic. Yeah, no. I do not wish to be stoic. I wish to be joyful and whimsical and not have to fight because I don't like fighting. You definitely have good things coming to you. I'm pretty sure I already said it before, but it was a while ago. But you definitely have good things coming your way. If you write, there's gonna be some spicy writings you're gonna be doing. There's gonna be some pretty eventful practices I heard, so maybe you're gonna connect more to like elemental magic of some kind, mostly to do with fire and water, I'm hearing. Alrighty. And these things will actually like break the binds. Break the strong grip that these things had on you. Alrighty.